stop scrolling right now because what I am about to tell you could change everything you thought you knew about your future in the United Kingdom. If you are a care worker, if you are planning to come to the UK as a care worker, or if you are already living and working in the UK on a health and care visa, this video is not optional. This video is absolutely essential. The UK government has just dropped some of the most devastating immigration updates that the care sector has ever seen. Sponsorship is being ripped away, ILR rules are being rewritten, and thousands of workers who were just months away from settling permanently in the UK are now staring at a completely different future. So do not go anywhere, because what I am about to share with you today is shocking, it is real, and it affects you directly. Welcome back to the channel, and if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now because this channel is your #1 source for honest, up-to-date, and accurate UK visa and immigration information. I do not sugarcoat things. I do not waste your time. I give you the real facts so that you can make real decisions about your life. Today, we are going in deep on one of the biggest immigration stories of 2026, the complete collapse of the care worker sponsorship route and the shocking new ILR delay proposals that are threatening the settlement dreams of hundreds of thousands of people. We are talking about real people, real families, and real futures that are being turned upside down by these new rules. So let us get straight into it. Let us start from the beginning so everyone is on the same page. For years, the UK care sector was heavily dependent on international workers, particularly from countries like India, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Pakistan, and the Philippines. The health and care worker visa was introduced as a fast-track, affordable route that allowed care homes and home care providers to recruit skilled workers from overseas. Between 2022 and 2024 alone, a staggering 616,000 individuals relocated to the UK under this health and care visa route. The sector was growing, the demand was real, and the door seemed open. But then the government started slamming that door shut, piece by piece. In March 2024, the government introduced a dependent ban, meaning that new care workers and senior care workers could no longer bring their family members with them to the UK. Jobbatical, that was the first major blow. Thousands of workers had to choose between their career in the UK and their families back home. Then came the bigger shock. From 20th July 2025, overseas care worker recruitment through the skilled worker route ended entirely. This includes care workers and senior care workers in residential and home care settings. Centuro Global. This was not a warning. This was not a gradual phase-out. The door was shut on new overseas recruitment almost overnight. The skill level required for sponsorship of the skilled worker visa increased on 22nd July 2025 from RQF Level 3 to RQF Level 6, meaning that approximately 180 jobs are no longer eligible for visa sponsorship. Ward Hadaway care workers sit at RQF Level 2, which means they do not even come close to meeting the new threshold. They were already an exception to the rules before, and that exception has now been taken away. Care workers and senior care workers in SOC codes 6135 and 6136 appear on the immigration salary list with a removal date of 22 July 2028 for transitional in-country switching, but entry clearance sponsorship for these roles closed on 22 July 2025. Davidson Morris. What this means in plain English is simple. If you are already in the UK on a care worker visa, you may be able to extend under transitional rules. But if you are sitting outside the UK hoping to come in as a care worker on a new visa, that route is gone. It is over. Now, before panic sets in completely, let us look at who still has options and what the transitional arrangements actually allow. Under limited transitional rules, workers can extend their existing leave or switch into the health and care route as a care worker or senior care worker, provided they already work for the sponsoring employer in the UK and have been on their payroll for at least 3 months. Davidson Morris. So if you are already working in the UK under your current sponsor, you are not immediately thrown out. You have a window. If the certificate of sponsorship predates 22nd July 2025, the worker may extend or update their visa in any of the medium-skilled codes, provided they have held uninterrupted leave on the health and care or skilled worker routes since that certificate of sponsorship was issued. Davidson Morris. And this is critical, the concession does not permit new overseas hires or a change of sponsor. You must stay with the same employer. You cannot jump ship. Under current transitional rules, a minimum salary of $25,000 a year or the full going rate, whichever is higher, must be offered for any transitional sponsorship of care workers. Davidson Morris. So employers who want to keep their current overseas staff need to ensure salaries meet this minimum threshold. Otherwise, even existing workers could face visa problems. And what about dependents? Family members who already hold valid leave granted before 22nd July 2025 can continue to extend their visas, provided normal family route maintenance rules are met. Davidson Morris. But for anyone who was sponsored after that date, there is no right to bring new dependents. This is an absolutely devastating blow for workers who had planned to bring their families over once they were settled. Now let us talk about what might be the most shocking part of this entire update, because this is where things get truly serious. The government is not just closing the door on new arrivals. It is looking to extend the waiting period for permanent settlement for those already here. The Home Office launched a consultation into reforms of the route to indefinite leave to remain for health and care visa holders and skilled worker visa holders. Ward Hadaway. The current requirement to apply for ILR is 5 years of continuous lawful residence in the UK. For most people, this was the light at the end of the tunnel. 5 years and then you are settled permanently. But the proposals on the table are absolutely brutal. It is proposed that for those sponsored in roles below degree level, the requirement will be to have spent 15 years in the UK before being eligible to apply for ILR. Ward Hadaway, 15 years. Not 5, not 10, 15 years before a care worker would be able to apply for permanent residency. Think about what that means for a real person. You came to the UK in 2022 on a care worker visa. You have been working hard, paying taxes, building a life. Under the old rules, you were looking at ILR in 2027. Under these new proposals, you might not be eligible until 2037. The crux of the proposal is that ILR must be earned through contribution to the UK and is a privilege, not a right. The aim of the proposal is to reduce the number of people eligible to settle in the UK permanently in the coming years. Ward Hadaway. The consultation on earned settlement reforms has now closed, and the final policy and rule changes are awaited. Government statements indicate that settlement reforms may begin to take effect from as early as April 2026, House of Commons Library. This is not a distant threat. This is happening right now. The doubling of this requirement will be a bitter pill to swallow for many, especially those nearing the current 5 years, as the suggestion is that these changes will impact everyone and not just those granted an initial visa after the changes come into force. Ward Hadaway. This is the most alarming part of all. People who already started their journey under the old rules could be dragged into the new, harsher system midway through. The bad news does not stop at sponsorship closures and ILR delays. There are several other major changes that are now in effect or coming very soon, and every care worker and their employer needs to be aware of them. For new applications on or after 8th of January 2026, the English language requirements have been raised from B1 to B2 for skilled worker, high potential individual, and scale-up visas. NHS employers B2 is upper intermediate English. It is a significantly higher standard than what was previously required. This means that workers who previously managed to pass under B1 requirements may now struggle to qualify if they need to apply afresh. For applications on or after 16th December 2025, the immigration skills charge increased by 32% to $1,320 per person per year. NHS employers. This is a charge that employers pay when they sponsor overseas workers, and that increase is being passed on in the form of higher recruitment costs across the board. For a large employer, the additional payment of the immigration skills charge for a further 10 years will alone total $13,600 per sponsored carer. Ward Hadaway. The Home Office revoked nearly 2,000 sponsor licenses in 2025. Common causes include missing right-to-work records, late reporting, incorrect salaries, and job duties that do not match SOC codes. Centuro Global. This means that even workers who are legally in the UK and doing everything right can suddenly find themselves in crisis if their employer loses their sponsor license. The Home Office is under intense pressure to crack down, and care sector employers are under very close scrutiny. These changes are not just affecting individual workers, they are sending shockwaves through the entire UK care sector. The 2025 sponsorship freeze intensified shortages of over 170,000 vacancies in the sector in 2025, forcing reliance on domestic training, upskilling, and internal mobility. Jobbatical. There are simply not enough domestic workers to fill the gaps. Care homes are understaffed. The elderly and vulnerable are going without adequate care. And the workers who are already here are under enormous pressure. The sector relies heavily on skilled worker visa holders, carrying out supplementary employment for up to 20 hours per week outside of their main role. Ward Hadaway. But with the tightening of rules around supplementary work, this flexibility is also being restricted for those who entered the route after July 2025. A Westminster Hall debate on immigration reforms is scheduled for 17th of March 2026, opened by Pete Wishart MP. House of Commons Library. The pressure is mounting in Parliament, and there is growing opposition to these changes from both the care sector and immigration advocates. But as of now, the rules are in place and they are being enforced. Healthcare providers and care homes will not be able to hire social care workers from overseas using the Health and Care Worker visa, as the UK government plans to focus on hiring domestic talent or overseas workers already in the UK who need sponsorship. IAS. The message from the government is clear. The era of large-scale overseas recruitment for care roles is over. So what can you actually do if you are a care worker affected by these changes? Let us talk about practical steps. If you are already in the UK on a care worker visa and your certificate of sponsorship was issued before 22nd July 2025, you have some protection. You can extend your visa under the transitional rules until as late as 22nd July 2028, provided you remain with the same employer, meet the salary requirements, and maintain continuous lawful residence. Do not leave the UK without taking immigration advice first, because your re-entry rights may be affected. If you are hoping to upskill and move into a higher skilled role, now is the time. Workers may upskill to higher roles such as nursing or RQF Level 6 positions, which would restore some rights around dependence and sponsorship. Jobbatical. If your employer is offering career development pathways, take them seriously. They could be your route to a more secure immigration status. If you are outside the UK and were planning to come as a care worker, you need to completely rethink your strategy. The new entry clearance sponsorship for care worker roles is closed. You will need to explore alternative routes, whether that is the skilled worker visa in a qualifying RQF Level 6 role, a student visa to upskill, or a family visa if you have eligible family in the UK. Stay informed about the ILR consultation outcome. The Home Office consultation on the earned settlement model closed in February 2026, and the views of employers and employees in the care sector were of vital importance. Ward Hadaway. The final decision is expected soon and will determine whether the 5-year or the 15-year rule applies to your case. Monitor official government announcements closely. Seek proper legal immigration advice before making any application. Given that salary threshold assessments now mean that employers who recoup business costs via repayment clauses will need to count this against the salary stated on the certificate of sponsorship, NHS employers' even small errors in paperwork could push your salary below the eligibility threshold and result in refusal. Right? So let us bring everything together, because I know that was a lot of information and it was heavy. The UK care worker sponsorship route as we knew it is effectively finished for new overseas entrants. The ILR pathway that thousands of people were counting on is under direct threat of being stretched from 5 years to 15 years. English language requirements have gone up, sponsorship costs have gone up, and sponsor license revocations are at record levels. This is a defining moment for every care worker, every aspiring migrant, and every family who had placed their hopes and dreams on a future in the United Kingdom. The rules are changing fast, and they are not changing in your favor. But knowledge is power. If you understand what is happening, you can adapt, you can plan, and you can protect yourself. If this video has helped you or opened your eyes to these changes, please share it with every care worker you know. In your WhatsApp groups, your community pages, your family chats, these people need this information and they need it now. Drop your questions in the comments below and I will answer as many as I can. And if you want personalized advice about your specific situation, the link to a consultation is in the description. Do not let the system catch you off guard. Stay informed, stay prepared, and stay ahead. I will see you in the next one.